This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
The very first show, though, the debut in front of the camera, happens at Survivor Series 99, a sold-out show from the Joe Louis Arena in Detroit. And the second match of the night, here comes Shawn Stasiac. Tell us a little bit about your first match here. Dave Meltzer gave it a 1.5 stars in the Observer, but he would write, Angle looked impressive, and this was the best Stasiac had looked since coming into the company. Not that anyone actually picked up on it, and of course you get the win. Were you excited, nervous, anxious? Take me through your first night in front of a big crowd like this at the Survivor Series.
I was nervous as hell. I never did it before. This is my first time, my debut. And, I was wrestling Shawn, which I was familiar with Shawn because I started training with Shawn. So we had a few matches, dark matches and stuff that we have done before. But this was very scary because this was my debut and I was more concerned about getting everything right. And the crazy thing is, during the match, in the middle of it, the fans were chanting boring.
Right.
And the referee comes to me and says, Shawn has me in a rest hold, a choke hold. And he says, listen, Vince wants you to beat up Shawn, go outside the ring, grab the microphone, and say you do not chant boring to an Olympic gold medalist. I came here for you. And I was like, holy shit. I never did this before. Nobody warned me ahead of time. So this was improvisation by Vince. And, I paused for a second and the ref said, listen, you got to do it. I said, what does he want me to do again? And he had to repeat it again. And I went out and I did it. And the fans reacted. They cheered boring even louder. So we got the reaction we wanted. I mean, about the match was good. It wasn't great. It was, I think about 6 or 7 minutes. So it wasn't a lot of time. We didn't have a lot of time on the card, but I thought the match was very smooth and that it was decent.
How did you enjoy working with Shawn? He's a guy who's been rather polarizing in the locker room over the years, but you had a good rapport with him?
I had a great rapport with Shawn. Him and I were friends. He was an amateur wrestler. His dad had a great history of pro wrestling, and
yep.
Shawn was the next upcoming promising talent. I think the issue with Shawn is he was really unsure of himself. He lacked some confidence, and that was the only downfall to Shawn.
What was your confidence like after that first match? Were you happy with the showing? You come back through the curtain, you see Vince. Is it all smiles? People were happy. You felt good?
Yes, I was more relieved than I was happy. I was glad I finished it and I did everything that I set out to do, even the stuff that Vince wanted me to say. It was shocking that, Vince would ask me to do that because I didn't learn any kind of promo skills.
Right.
I think I did one promo down in Power Pro Wrestling in Memphis, and that was about it. So I didn't really have any skills with that, and I didn't know how I was going to do. I figured WWE was just going to utilize me as the main event show on the weekends and have me wrestle. I didn't know they had these sort of plans for me, and that Vince wanted to elevate me to the moon.
A few days later, you're on SmackDown. You're taking on Gangrel. So let's put this in the context, folks. His first match on TV is against a pimp. The second one is against a vampire. This is a little different than amateur wrestling, huh?
A lot different. There were a lot of characters back in WWE in the Attitude Era, a lot of different characters, very interesting characters. So it was relatively new for me, and it was great content that I could do promos on. You'd rather cheer a vampire than an Olympic gold medalist. And the fans would, cheer the vampire, Gangrel. Same with The Godfather. You'd rather cheer a pimp than an Olympic gold medalist, and they would cheer the pimp. They love the bad guys. The Attitude Era was very different.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.